Hey folks, so it's been a few days. We finally got the lower steering bearing race out. It was a challenge. There was a whole lot of whacking, smacking.
Here, Dave, move over into this area because it's the lighting's really bad.
The first expanding bearing puller with just the two prongs. It was a much larger size. I had ground it down to pull a wheel bearing just with the bench grinder, and it was so little metal left to grip, we just kept rounding the edges off. So I went and bought a set, tried Harbor Freight, they were sold out on Amazon. This style, which has 3 leaves, almost 360 degrees of engagement. That's the bearing race that we just pulled. The slide hammer is a little short, kind of useless if the bearing's really stuck. So we used that other driver, since we have access to the backside, and drove it out this way. As you can see, Dave Smash, I started to loosen up the head of the hammer from all the whacking, so I went and tightened it up and gave it 2-3 good strokes, and the head of the hammer flew straight down to the ground. Thankfully nobody was there, no part of the bike was in front of it, so I got a different hammer and finished it off. Once it started moving, the slide hammer was enough to pop it out.
What are you looking for, Dave?
So I'm looking for, what was I looking for?
Neck tube bearings, right?
Neck tube bearings, yep. So this is most of the parts that I acquired for the repair job, and I have another box for stock parts that I had taken off previously. So this is the new rear wheel, the new front wheel is under this stuff. Yeah, so these are the bearings, both halves. So the races we had to drive out are on the outside, and got some seals that drop in that just keep dirt out. They just sit loose over it, and then I got another sticker. Anybody want a sticker? I got so many of those. Now I do want to inspect the holes before I put them in.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go have to get the micrometer out. So that's the bottom part, and this is that brass-looking metal seal with the rubber on it that sits on the outside to keep dirt out, and the other one will go on top after we put the top part on.
So what about the new forks? I think there were some bearings on there as well.
Yeah, so this is the factory cheapo ball bearings in a plastic race, so the top and bottom, oh that's the bottom there.
So that, folks, is why you want to swap out your factory.
Yeah, the cylinder style tapered roller bearings are going to be much stiffer, and these, once they start to loosen up, you keep cranking you can tighten the nut, well, the one that's under there anyway, tighten it up, and you'll just keep tightening it forever, because the balls will go out around under force, and you'll just keep tightening it, ride it, tighten it, ride it. So
makes sense.
The other ones don't flatten as easily. Inside micrometer out, same deal as before. So this is the little measuring guy and the magic wand that holds it up. Too far. So close. So I'm just kind of feeling around.
That actually seems pretty...
That seems a little loose.
Yeah. One side to the other.
So I'm going to go out another 5 thousandths. No, it's stuck. Ooh, that's loose. Okay, so that was too far for this one.
So it's oblong or oval at 12 o'clock, basically.
Front to back, just like the other one. Kind of what you would expect from an
front impact.
Yeah. All right, so I got my steering bearing press. It's also a Park tool like the driver's, HHP2. Whatever that means. It's this one actually is a motorcycle tool, I think. So what I'm gonna do is find 2 guys that fit the bearings that I have, put them on opposite sides of the steering stem, put this through the steering stem, and turn the screw until it pushes them down together. Probably this should be a clean job, but It's as clean as I get right now. Alright, so that just touches the lips and doesn't quite sit flush, so that'll be, the small one will be the top side bearing.
We got a newcomer here in the background.
Hey, what's happening?
What's up, man?
That's the other Jeff.
The owner of a couple of those bikes over there in the corner.
The owner of all the running competent bikes in the room except for Mike.
Yeah.
But normally the only ones. Alright, so that's, I got the as I proceed to throw things. Alright, so that's the top bearing race in place, the die, and this guy, and the bottom piece. So without knocking it out too badly, with only loosely in the right place there. I got the bottom bearing race. Okay, that's really close. So theoretically this thing will press them together so that they'll be aligned to each other even if this guy wasn't perfect. Probably one of them is going to seat before the other and then I'll have to draw them both in. Yeah. Woo! Something just slid loose. It's got easy now. And it's hard again, and that one's still sticking out. So it must not be lined up 100%. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, these guys aren't cheap. But I doubt you'd be able to do this any other way without wrecking them. This will be the third or fourth time I've used it, so. Okay, we're bottomed out without destroying the bearings. Back it off. Let her loose. Take my die out. Take my die out. I think that's it. Yeah, it looks pretty even. You know, you lose a little paint every time, but nobody will ever see that. So there you go. Steering bearings installed takes 30 seconds. Taking them out takes 4 days. Okay. So, shout out to these guys. They didn't sponsor us, but I'm throwing this tag away. Pinwall Cycle Parts. That's where I've been getting most of my Triumph parts. I have a feeling that it's all from the same bike. They just keep saying this. One guy just keeps coming back piece by piece till he gets the whole bike. They're on eBay. Pinwall Cycle Parts. And special security tag to make sure that nobody stole it unless they stole the whole thing. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's their inventory number. Nope.
Don't dent your tank.
Okay, flip it carefully. Oh, of course, this one's a different size.
That's the only thing that made sense.
Then this nut should the only thing that should be holding it together. I may have to keep the chrome one and get rid of the black one because going from black and red to red and silver and chrome, blacked everything out, put it all back. Fumble fingers here, can't do this.
You guys are scaring the hell out of me with the tank so close.
Yeah, it's got the rubber pad there when I was putting my hand.
It's not even my bike.
Still need
Good
a beer.
thing it was empty.
Still need a beer sponsor.
Yeah, didn't we come up with a list of beer sponsors we would love to work with?
Yeah, if you're tired of seeing me make these videos, buy me beer and I won't get around to it. So there's our steering stem adjuster nuts. These are the ones that you tighten it down. There's two of them, one to tighten it and one to lock it down. Those are the ones you got to torque with the magic Triumph wrench. Bearings are that kind of job that it's like if you don't got the right tool, you can't do it at all. So this works the exact opposite of the other guy. It has a rod inside that gets pushed down by the screw that pulls up on the jaws and pushes down on the stem until the bearing comes off. I have a grip on it. I'm standing up, that's why I'm not getting my face down there. just using this cardboard box full of stuffing because I don't want to scratch the thing up, otherwise I would have secured it. Well, that's what happens to the seal. So now we back up and we try again. Try and grab a different piece of it too. I don't know if that will help or hurt. I think we got her this time. Had to fold that seal out of the way so I could get in between them. If these little jaws had sharp edges, I probably wouldn't have scratched up the paint, but they used to have sharp edges and they're gone now. So what does that tell you? Woo. And we're off. So that's the bearing race with the seal permanently stamped and welded onto it. I mean, it's fused on there good. No play at all. Up next, the reverse. We have to drive one on with a new seal. And whether I use a socket or one of their existing bushings, I don't remember what I used before. Sockets are pretty good for bearing driving because you already have every size if you have a socket set. Let me degrease and figure out which goes where and find the right size socket.